Seoul was the city where Daesung built his empire. Where he's untouchable. Where he promised Zara she'd be safe. But someone followed them. Someone who knows their every move. Someone who's been planning this for longer than Zara realizes. And tonight, at a private meeting with the most dangerous men in Korea, Zara will come face to face with the person who wants her dead. The photographs were just the beginning. The threats were a warning. But what's coming next? Let's just say Zara's about to learn that in the world of organized crime, your worst enemy isn't always a stranger. Sometimes, it's the person sitting right across the table from you. Welcome to part 3, and if you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, stop right now and go watch them because this story is about to reach its peak. We've got mafia politics, deadly revelations, Zara stepping into her power, and a twist that's going to blow your mind. Before we jump in, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment with your theory about who's threatening Zara. Let's get into it. The dinner that evening was intimate, only 12 people seated around a long table in Daesung's dining room. Zara had dressed carefully with Ji-Hai's help, choosing a modern hanbok-inspired dress in deep burgundy. Traditional enough to show respect, modern enough to assert her own identity. Her hair was swept up, the sapphire ring prominent on her finger. You look like a queen, Daesung murmured when she emerged. He wore all black, traditional Korean elements mixed with modern tailoring, and looked devastating. I feel like I'm about to walk into a lion's den. You are. But you're the lion's wife. They'll respect that or answer to me. He offered his arm. Ready? No. But let's do it anyway. The dining room was elegant, traditional Korean aesthetics with low table and cushions, but modified for Western-style seating. The guests were already assembled. All eyes turned when they entered. Everyone, Daesung said in English, his hand possessive on Zara's back. My wife, Zara Kong. The silence was heavy, assessing. Then an older woman stood, moving toward them with surprising grace. She was probably 70, tiny, elegant, with steel-gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. Sajangnam, she said to Daesung, bowing slightly. Then to Zara, in perfect English, Mrs. Kong. I am Madam Choi. I've worked with your husband for 30 years. Welcome to Seoul. The formal acknowledgement from the obvious matriarch broke the ice. Others stood, introducing themselves. There was Park Jae-sung, Daesung's attorney, sharp-eyed, 50s, radiating competence. Kim Min-ho, who controlled shipping operations. Lee Sang-woo, whose tech company provided legitimate cover and illegal surveillance capabilities. Several others whose roles Zara didn't fully catch. And one woman who made Zara's radar ping immediately. She was stunning, late 30s, Korean, with the kind of beauty that turned heads and stopped traffic. She wore a black dress that was more seduction than fashion, and her eyes on Daesung were possessive. Han Yi-jin, she introduced herself, her English accented but fluent. I manage Daniel's Seoul hotels. We've worked very closely together for 15 years. The emphasis on closely was deliberate. Lovely to meet you, Zara said smoothly, holding her gaze. I look forward to hearing about your work. My husband speaks highly of all his associates. Does he? Yi-jin's smile didn't reach her eyes. How interesting. He so rarely speaks of personal matters with business associates. I suppose marriage changes things. It does, Daesung said coldly. Yi-jin manages operations. Nothing more. Zara manages my heart. There's no comparison. The rebuke was public and unmistakable. Yi-jin's smile froze. Of course, Sajangnam, she said, retreating to her seat. Zara filed that away. Potential enemy identified. Dinner was elaborate, multiple courses of Korean delicacies, each more exquisite than the last. The conversation flowed in Korean and English, Daesung translating when necessary, his hand never far from Zara's. Madam Choi asked about Zara's architecture work, genuinely interested. Park Jae-sung discussed legal frameworks with impressive knowledge. Kim Min-ho told stories that made everyone laugh. It should have been pleasant. But Zara felt the undercurrent of assessment. They were all watching her, judging whether she was worthy of Daesung, whether she was a weakness or a strength. Mrs. Kang, Madam Choi said during a lull. Your husband has been alone for many years. We worried about him. But seeing you together, he's different. Lighter. You're good for him. He's good for me too, Zara said honestly. That's rare. Most marriages in our world are strategic. Loveless. But you too. She smiled. You remind me of Daesung and Yuneseo. The way he looked at her is the way he looks at you. The table went quiet. You knew his first wife? Zara asked. I was her aunt. Her mother's sister. Madam Choi's expression was sad. Such a tragedy. But I'm glad Daesung found love again. Yuneseo would have wanted that for him. She was family to you, Zara said slowly. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, child. But the loss was 30 years ago. What matters now is that you're here, and you make him happy. She raised her glass. To the new Mrs. Kang. May you bring light to dark places. Everyone drank, even Yi Jin, though her expression was sour. After dinner, the men moved to Daesung's study for business discussions. The women gathered in a sitting room, and Zara found herself being gently interrogated by Madam Choi and the others. How did you meet? One asked. What do you think of Korea? Another wanted to know. Can you speak Korean? Are you planning to have children? The questions came rapid fire, curious but not hostile. Except from Yi Jin, who sat apart, watching with calculating eyes. Excuse me, Zara said after an hour. I need some air. She slipped out onto the veranda, breathing in the cool night air. The garden was beautiful, lit with subtle lighting, koi pond reflecting the moon. Running already? Zara turned to find Yi Jin leaning against the doorframe, wine glass in hand. Just taking a break, Zara said evenly. It's a lot of new people. I'm sure. Yi Jin moved closer. You know, I've known Daniel for 15 years. I've seen him with many women. Beautiful women, powerful women. None of them lasted. Maybe they weren't the right women. Or maybe Daniel isn't built for lasting relationships. His work is his life. His organization is his family. Women are temporary diversions. She sipped her wine. Even you, eventually. You're entitled to your opinion, Zara said. But we both know what this is really about. You wanted him. You didn't get him. And now you're bitter. Yi Jin's eyes flashed. You think you know him? You've been married 2 months? I've been by his side for 15 years. I know his secrets, his darkness, the things that would make you run screaming. Then you should know that threatening his wife is a good way to end up dead, Zara said pleasantly. Because whatever you think you are to him, I'm the one wearing his ring. I'm the one he comes home to. And I'm the one he'd burn the world down to protect. So if you're smart, you'll accept reality and move on. You little. Is there a problem? Daesung's voice cut through the night like a blade. He stood in the doorway, and his expression when he looked at Yi Jin was arctic. We were just talking, Yi Jin said quickly. Getting to know each other. Then you're done. Yi Jin, go home. We'll discuss your behavior tomorrow. Sejangnam, I didn't mean. Now. The command was absolute. Yi Jin left without another word. Daesung pulled Zara into his arms. What did she say to you? That I'm temporary. That you'll get bored. That she knows you better than I ever will. Zara leaned into him. Standard jealous woman playbook. She's fired. Don't fire her because of me. I can handle. She disrespected you. In my house. That's unforgivable. His jaw was tight. And for the record, she knows nothing. She's efficient at managing hotels. That's the extent of our relationship. There's never been anything romantic or sexual between us, despite her attempts. I believe you. And she did. But Daniel, if you fire every woman who's jealous of me, you'll run out of employees. Then I'll hire men. I don't care. You're more important than any of them. He cupped her face. I love you. Only you. You believe that, right? I do. And I love you. Even when jealous hotel managers try to stake their claim. He kissed her, slow and deep. Let's go to bed. I want to remind you exactly whose claim actually matters. They made it as far as the bedroom door before his control broke. The next morning, Zara woke to find Daesung already dressed, speaking rapid Korean into his phone. What's wrong? She asked. He covered the phone. Nothing. Go back to sleep, Jagiya. But she was already getting up, pulling on a robe. Daniel. What's happening? He ended the call. We have a lead on who sent the photos. Jin Woo's people tracked down the courier who delivered the package to your office. He identified the person who hired him. Who? A woman. Korean. Paid in cash. Gave a fake name, but Jin Woo's team got a description and security footage from the courier company. He pulled up a photo on his phone. Do you recognize her? Zara looked at the grainy image. That's Minji. Yunesio's sister. Yes. Which means she's not just here to warn you. She's actively threatening you. His expression was deadly. I'm going to find her. And we're going to have a conversation about boundaries. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. If she's working with someone, then you need me there. She came to me once already. If you show up alone, she'll know you're onto her and run. But if I'm there, she might think she has another chance to scare me off. Zara grabbed his hand. Use me as bait. No. Daniel, I can do this. You've trained me. Jin Woo's trained me. I'm not helpless. I know you're not. That's not the point. Then what is? You promised me partnership. You promised I could help when we found who's threatening us. Were those empty words? He stared at her for a long moment. Then, you stay behind me at all times. Jin Woo and 4 men surround you. At the first sign of danger, you do exactly what they tell you. Non-negotiable. Deal. They found Minji at a luxury hotel in Gangnam. Jin Woo's contacts had tracked her credit cards, and she'd been staying there for 3 days. Zara and Daesung entered the lobby with Jin Woo and his team, a small army in expensive suits. Minji was having breakfast in the hotel restaurant, elegant as before, but when she saw them approaching, her face went pale. Daniel, she said, standing. What a surprise. Is it? He pulled out a chair, gesturing for Zara to sit. Then he settled beside her, every inch the dangerous man he was. Let's drop the pretense, Minji. I know you sent those photos to Zara's office. I know you've been gathering information about her. What I don't know is why. Or who you're working with. I don't know what you're. Daesung pulled out his phone, showed her the security footage. That's you. At the courier company. Paying cash to have threatening photos delivered to my wife. His voice went cold. So let's try this again. Why? Minji's composure cracked. Because she deserves to know what she's getting into. Because you got my sister killed and now you're doing it again. I didn't get Yunesio killed. My enemy did. And I destroyed him for it. But she still died. Because you made her a target. Minji's eyes filled with tears. And now you're doing the same thing to her. Parading her around, making her visible, painting a bullseye on her back. I'm trying to save her life. By threatening it? Zara interjected. Those photos, that note, she'll die like the first one, you think that's saving me? I thought if you understood the danger, you'd leave. You'd be smart enough to run. Then you don't know me at all, Zara said. I don't run. I fight. Then you'll die, Minji said flatly. Just like my sister. Who are you working with? Daesung demanded. Someone's feeding you information, helping you track Zara. Who? Minji hesitated, fear crossing her face. Tell me now, or I'll have Jinwoo extract the information less pleasantly, Daesung said. They'll kill me if I talk. I'll kill you if you don't. Choose. The restaurant had gone quiet. Other diners had noticed the tension, the security team, the dangerous energy radiating from their table. He said he just wanted to scare her, Minji whispered. Make her leave voluntarily. That no one had to get hurt. Who? Your brother. Gregory Kong. The silence was deafening. Then Daesung laughed, cold and harsh. Of course. Of course it's Gregory. He couldn't stand that I came back, that I have everything he wanted, that I married the woman his son threw away. He stood. Where is he? I don't know. He contacted me through intermediaries. Offered me money to scare Zara, to make her doubt you, to drive a wedge between you. Minji was crying now. I took it because I thought I was saving her life. Because I couldn't save my sister. Zara felt something like pity. This woman had spent 30 years mourning her sister, blaming Daesung, and now Gregory had weaponized that grief. Gregory's in Seoul, Jinwoo said, phone to his ear. My contacts just confirmed. He arrived yesterday. Staying at the Shilla Hotel. Perfect. Daesung's smile was terrifying. Minji, you're going to stay here with 2 of Jinwoo's men. If you try to run or warn Gregory, they'll stop you. Understand? She nodded, defeated. And Minji? Daesung leaned down, his voice gentle. I'm sorry about Yuneseo. I'm sorry I couldn't protect her. But I won't fail twice. Zara will be safe. That's a promise. Wait, did he just say Gregory is behind this? I knew it. Drop a comment if you predicted this or if you're as shocked as I am. And listen, this confrontation is about to be epic, so make sure you've hit that like button and subscribed. Now let's see what happens when Daesung confronts his brother. The Shilla Hotel was one of Seoul's most prestigious, all old world elegance and new world luxury. Gregory Kong was staying in a penthouse suite, apparently confident enough in his scheme to enjoy a vacation while orchestrating threats against Zara. That confidence was about to be shattered. Jinwoo's team secured the floor. No witnesses, no interruptions. Daesung didn't bother knocking. He had the head of hotel security open the door with a master key. Gregory was on the phone when they entered, probably discussing business. He looked up, saw Daesung, and went white. I'll call you back, he said, ending the call. Hello, little brother, Daesung said pleasantly. We need to talk. About boundaries. And consequences. I don't know what you... Don't. Daesung's voice cracked like a whip. Don't insult my intelligence. I know you hired Minji to threaten Zara. I know you've been gathering information on her. I know you're trying to drive her away from me. He moved closer, and Gregory actually backed up. What I don't know is whether you're stupid or suicidal. She doesn't belong in this family, Gregory said. That woman is my wife. And you will address her as Mrs. Kong or you won't address her at all. Zara stood in the doorway, flanked by Jinwoo's men, watching the confrontation unfold. You can't just marry some nobody and expect. Nobody. Daesung's laugh was vicious. She's a Pritzker Prize winner. She revolutionized sustainable architecture. She built a multi-million-dollar firm from nothing. What have you built, Gregory? What have you created that wasn't stolen or bought with dirty money? I built Kong Industries. With my money. With Uneseo's insurance policy. Don't rewrite history. Gregory's face purpled. That was 30 years ago. You need to let it go. I had let it go. I moved on. Built my own empire. I would have been content to never see you again. Daesung's eyes were cold. But then you couldn't leave well enough alone. You had to threaten what's mine. You had to make this personal. She's an outsider. She doesn't understand our world, our culture. She understands better than your idiot son ever did. Ryan threw her away for money. I claimed her for love. There's no comparison. Ryan made a business decision. Ryan made the worst mistake of his life. And you encouraged it. Just like you've encouraged every weak, greedy decision he's ever made. You've raised a coward, Gregory. A spineless boy in a man's body who can't even keep a woman without his father's approval. The insults were calculated, designed to wound. At least my son isn't married to someone half his age for some pathetic attempt to reclaim his youth. Daesung moved so fast Zara almost missed it. One moment he was across the room, the next his hand was around Gregory's throat, slamming him against the wall. Say one more word about my wife, Daesung said softly. Give me one more reason. Gregory clawed at his hand, gasping. Daniel, Zara said quietly. He's not worth it. Daesung held him for 3 more seconds, then released him. Gregory collapsed, coughing. You're pathetic, Daesung said with contempt. You've spent 30 years obsessing over me, hating me, trying to erase me. But here I am. More powerful than you. Richer than you. Happier than you. Living well really is the best revenge. This isn't over, Gregory wheezed. You're right. It's not. Daesung crouched down to Gregory's level. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave Seoul today. You're going to stop all contact with Minji. You're going to stay away from Zara, from me, from anything connected to us. And if you ever, threaten what's mine again, I will destroy Kong Industries. I have the resources, the connections, and the motivation. I can dismantle everything you've built in under a month. Don't test me. You can't. I can. And I will. Daesung stood. Oh, and Gregory? Tell Ryan that if he approaches Zara again, I won't be so gentle. Brother or not, nephew or not, I'll break him. Permanently. He turned to leave, offering Zara his hand. She took it, and they walked out together. In the elevator, Zara finally spoke. You were merciful. You could have killed him. Killing him would be quick. Letting him live with the knowledge that I've won? That I'm happy while he's miserable? That's so much better. He pulled her close. Besides, I promised you partnership. How would it look if I murdered your ex-fiancé's father without consulting you first? She laughed despite herself. So considerate. I try. That evening was the formal meeting, the gathering of Korean organization heads that happened twice a year. Zara dressed with Ji-hai and Soo-min's help, choosing a stunning black gown with traditional Korean embroidery. Her hair was styled in an elegant updo, the sapphire ring and matching earrings Daesung had given her that afternoon her only jewelry. You look like a queen, Soo-min said with satisfaction. They won't know what hit them. Remember, Ji-hai coached. You don't speak unless spoken to directly. You stay beside your husband. You observe. This is their world, and women are traditionally excluded. But you're there as Mrs. Kong. As proof of his power and his confidence. No pressure, Zara muttered. The meeting was held at a private estate outside Seoul, all traditional Korean architecture and carefully manicured grounds. Security was intense, every organization brought their own people, resulting in small armies positioned strategically around the property. Daesung kept Zara close, his hand on her back as they entered. The main hall was impressive, low tables arranged in a circle, cushions for seating, traditional decorations. About 30 people were already assembled, mostly men, a few women. All conversation stopped when Daesung entered with Zara. Kang Daesung, an older man, called out in accented English. We heard you'd returned from America. And brought a guest. Not a guest. My wife. Daesung guided Zara to their designated position. Zara Kong. The ripple of reaction was immediate, surprise, curiosity, some disapproval. Your wife, the older man repeated. How progressive of you. I am Choi Dong-woo. I oversee the Southern Territories. Madame Choi's husband, Zara realized. He seemed less friendly than his wife. Mr. Choi, she said respectfully, bowing slightly as Ji-hai had taught her. American, another man observed. And black. You've certainly made interesting choices, Dae-sung. I've made perfect choices, Dae-sung corrected coldly. My wife is brilliant, accomplished, and mine. If anyone has a problem with that, we can discuss it outside. The threat was unmistakable. No problems, Choi Dong-woo said quickly. Welcome, Mrs. Kong. Please, sit. The meeting began in Korean, rapid-fire discussions that Zara couldn't follow. She sat quietly beside Dae-sung, observing body language, power dynamics, who deferred to whom. Dae-sung was clearly respected. When he spoke, others listened. When he disagreed, people reconsidered. He'd built this power over 3 decades, and it showed. About an hour in, a younger man, probably early 40s, handsome, arrogant, addressed Dae-sung in English. I heard about your brother's misunderstanding with your wife. There was no misunderstanding, Dae-sung said. There was a threat. It's been handled. By bringing her here? To this meeting? The man smiled unpleasantly. Some would say that's provocative. That you're flaunting your weakness. And some would be wrong. I'm demonstrating my strength. Anyone who wants to threaten what's mine has to go through me. In Seoul. On my territory. Surrounded by my people. Dae-sung's smile was sharp. Feel free to try, Park Ji-hoon. I could use the entertainment. Park Ji-hoon's expression darkened. You've been gone 30 years. You think you can just come back in? I never left. I built an empire in Korea while you were still learning to walk. I have more power, more connections, and more resources than you'll ever have. So yes, I can come back. I can bring my wife. I can do whatever I want. And there's nothing you can do about it. The tension in the room was thick. Then Madame Choi spoke up in English. My husband and I approve of the match. Mrs. Kong is lovely and clearly makes Dae-sung happy. That's all that matters. Her endorsement shifted the energy. Others murmured agreement. Park Ji-hoon scowled but said nothing more. The meeting continued, switching back to Korean. Zara relaxed slightly, glad the direct scrutiny was over. But she noticed Park Ji-hoon watching her throughout the evening. Not with attraction. With calculation. She filed that away too. During a break, Zara stepped outside for air. Jin-woo and 2 men followed discreetly. The garden was beautiful, traditional Korean landscaping with careful attention to balance and harmony. Mrs. Kong. She turned to find Park Ji-hoon approaching, alone. Jin-woo tensed, but Zara held up a hand. Mr. Park. Enjoying the evening? Not particularly. These meetings are tedious. He lit a cigarette. You're very composed for someone so out of her depth. Am I out of my depth? Aren't you? American, civilian, no understanding of our culture or our world. He exhaled smoke. You're a liability to Dae-sung, whether he admits it or not. That's his decision to make, not yours. True. But I wonder, how long will you last? This world is dangerous, Mrs. Kong. People die. Wives especially. They're such easy targets. The threat was barely veiled. Are you threatening me, Mr. Park? Zara asked calmly, aware of Jin-woo moving closer. I'm educating you. There's a difference. He dropped his cigarette, crushed it under his heel. Dae-sung is powerful, yes. But he's not invincible. And neither are you. Is there a problem? Dae-sung's voice cut through the night. He appeared from the shadows, and his expression was murder. Park Ji-hoon smiled. No problem. Just welcoming your wife to Seoul. Explaining how things work here. She knows how things work. She's my wife. That means she's untouchable. That means threatening her is threatening me. That means you just made a very serious mistake. I didn't threaten. You told her wives are easy targets. That people die. That she won't last. Daesung moved closer, and Park actually backed up. Did you think I wouldn't hear? That my security wouldn't report every word? You're either stupid or you want war. Which is it? I was just. Shut up. Daesung's voice was ice. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to my wife. Then you're going to leave this meeting. And tomorrow, you're going to meet with me to discuss reparations for your disrespect. If you refuse any of these things, we'll resolve this the old way. Right now. In front of everyone. The old way clearly meant violence. Park Ji-hoon looked at Zara, hatred in his eyes. I apologize, Mrs. Kong. My words were inappropriate. Accepted, Zara said, though her heart was pounding. Park left without another word. Are you okay? Daesung asked immediately, hands on her shoulders, checking her over like she might be injured. I'm fine. He just tried to scare me. He succeeded in pissing me off. Daesung pulled her close. I'm sorry. I should have warned you that some of them would test you. Try to find weakness. Did I handle it okay? You handled it perfectly. Calm, composed, didn't show fear. I'm proud of you. He kissed her forehead. But I'm still going to make him regret it. What are reparations? Compensation. Money, territory, business concessions. He insulted you, which means he insulted me. In our world, that requires payment. His jaw was tight. Or blood. His choice. The meeting concluded an hour later. Alliances had been reaffirmed, disputes settled, agreements made. Daesung had solidified his position, demonstrated his power, and made it clear that Zara was under his protection. In the car on the way home, Zara finally let herself relax. That was intense, she said. That was mild, Daesung corrected. But you were magnificent. Everyone was talking about you, the American wife who didn't flinch, didn't falter. Madam Choi said you have steel in your spine. That's high praise. I was terrified the whole time. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite fear. You were brave, Jagiya. And I've never been more attracted to you. She laughed. Really? That's what does it for you? Me being threatened by gangsters? You standing strong when threatened. You refusing to be intimidated. You being exactly who you are without apology. He pulled her into his lap. That's what does it for me. They kissed, heated and desperate, the adrenaline of the evening transforming into something else. Home, Zara gasped against his mouth. Now. Already on it, Daesung said, and she realized the driver was speeding. They barely made it inside before clothes started coming off. The next morning, Zara woke to an empty bed and voices coming from the study. She pulled on a robe and padded down the hall, finding Daesung in a video call with Jin-woo and several others. Confirmed it was him, Jin-woo was saying. Park Ji-hoon has been making moves against your territory for months. Small things, easy to miss. But he's been positioning himself to challenge you. And last night was what? A test? Daesung's voice was cold. Probably. See if you'd defend your wife publicly. See if having her here made you weak or distracted. He got his answer. He did. But sir, he's not going to back down. He's been building alliances, gathering support. He thinks you've been gone too long, that your power is more reputation than reality. Then I'll have to remind him otherwise. Daesung noticed Zara in the doorway. I'll call you back. After he ended the call, Zara entered the study. Park Ji-hoon is trying to take over your territory. Trying being the operative word. He won't succeed. Daesung pulled her onto his lap. But yes, he's been positioning himself for a power play. Last night was him testing whether you're a weakness he can exploit. And he learned that you're a strength. That I'm more dangerous when protecting you than I ever was alone. He kissed her neck. But it also means things are going to get more intense. He'll push harder now. Try to prove he can challenge me. What are you going to do? Destroy him. Systematically. Publicly. Make an example that ensures no one else gets similar ideas. His arms tightened around her. I should send you back to New York. Keep you out of the crossfire. Try it and I'll fly right back. He smiled against her skin. I know. Which is why you're staying with me. But we increase security. You don't go anywhere without Jin-woo or me. And you start carrying this. He handed her a small pistol, compact and lethal. You want me to carry a gun? I want you to be able to protect yourself if something happens. Jin-woo will teach you to shoot properly today. Just in case. Zara looked at the weapon in her hand. 3 months ago, she'd been an architect planning a wedding. Now she was in Seoul, married to a mafia boss, holding a gun. Her life was unrecognizable. And somehow, she'd never been happier. The next few days were a whirlwind. Zara trained with Jin-woo, shooting, hand-to-hand combat, strategy. She met more of Daesung's associates, learning the web of alliances and rivalries. She explored Seoul with Ji-hai and Soo-min, beginning to fall in love with the city. And every night, she fell more in love with her husband. Daesung was different in Seoul. More relaxed, more himself. He showed her his favorite restaurants, took her to traditional markets, taught her Korean phrases. They visited temples and museums, walked through neighborhoods where he'd lived as a young man. This is where I was a street fighter, he said, gesturing to an area that was now trendy and gentrified. 35 years ago, this was rough. Dangerous. I'd fight for money, sometimes just for reputation. How old were you? 17 when I started. It was how I survived after my parents died. He smiled at the memory. I was good. Fast, vicious. It's how I got noticed by the organization I eventually took over. Do you miss it? The fighting? Sometimes. There's a purity to physical combat. No politics, no strategy. Just you and your opponent. He looked at her. But I have better things to do with my energy now. She knew exactly what he meant. But the peace couldn't last. On their 5th day in Seoul, Jin-woo burst into the estate, his expression grim. We have a situation. Park Ji-hoon just made a move. He hit one of our shipping warehouses. Burned it to the ground. 3 of our people are dead. Daesung went very still. Which warehouse? Busan. The electronic shipment that was supposed to go out tomorrow. That's 2 million in inventory. And 3 people. Daesung's voice was deadly calm. He just declared war. What do we do? Zara asked. You stay here. With security. Where it's safe. He was already moving, pulling on a jacket. Jin-woo, gather the team. We're going to Busan. I want Park Ji-hoon and everyone involved in this found. Tonight. Daniel, Zara started. No. He cupped her face. I know you want to help. I know you're strong and capable. But this is going to be violent, Jagiya. This is the dark part of my world. And I need to know you're safe so I can focus on what needs to be done. Promise me you'll come back. Always. I will always come back to you. He kissed her, deep and desperate. I love you. I love you too. Be careful. He left with Jin-woo and 8 men, an army moving to war. And Zara was left in the estate with security, waiting and worrying. Hours passed. No word. Zara tried to work, to distract herself. But all she could think about was Daesung in danger, facing violence, possibly dying. Midnight came and went. Then 1 a.m. 2 a.m. At 3 a.m., her phone rang. Jagiya, Daesung's voice said, tired but alive. I'm okay. We're heading back now. Relief flooded through her. What happened? We found Park's people. Dealt with them. Sent a very clear message about the consequences of touching what's mine. He paused. It's handled. But Zara. I need you to prepare yourself. When I get home, I'm going to look. I'm going to have blood on me. It's not mine, but it's there. If you need to sleep in your own room tonight. I'll be waiting for you in our bed, she interrupted. However you come home, I'll be here. You're sure? I'm your wife. For better or worse, remember? This is worse. I can handle it. God, I love you. Come home and show me. He arrived an hour later. Zara heard the cars pull up, heard the security team moving through the house. Then the bedroom door opened. Daesung stood there, and he'd been right, there was blood on his clothes, on his hands. His knuckles were split. But he was alive. Whole. Hi, she said softly. Hi. He didn't move closer. I should shower. Clean up. Okay. Do you need help? I need. He closed his eyes. I need you to know what I did tonight. I need you to see who I really am. I killed 3 men, Zara. Shot 2, beat 1 to death with my bare hands. I made the others watch. Made them understand what happens when you touch what's mine. It was brutal. Vicious. The worst parts of me. She stood, walked to him. I know who you are. All of you. The good parts and the dark parts. And I love all of it. All of you. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You protected your people. You defended your territory. You made sure everyone knows that attacking you comes with consequences. She took his bloodied hands in hers. You did what you had to do. And you came home to me. That's what matters. He stared at her, something breaking in his expression. How are you real? How are you not horrified? Because I see you. The man who cooks me dinner. Who teaches me Korean. Who holds me when I have nightmares. Who would burn the world down to keep me safe. She kissed his palms, blood and all. You're mine, Daniel. Light and dark. And I'm yours. The same way. He kissed her then, desperate and raw and real. And later, after he'd showered and they lay tangled in sheets, he whispered against her hair, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. The light in all my darkness. I don't deserve you, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to." You already deserve me, she whispered back. Because you see me the same way. The real me. Not the perfect version. The real one. I love the real one. Every sharp edge and fierce corner. Every strong, brilliant, magnificent part of you. They fell asleep wrapped around each other, 2 broken people who'd found wholeness in each other's arms. The next morning brought news. Park Ji-hoon was dead. Not killed by Daesung, that would have been too obvious. But by his own people, who decided that starting a war with Kang Daesung was bad for business and worse for their life expectancy. They sent his head to my office, Jin Woo reported matter-of-factly. With a note apologizing for his behavior and pledging loyalty to you. Efficient, Daesung observed. And sends the right message. Accept the pledge. Absorb his territory. Make sure his people understand they're mine now and I protect what's mine. Already done, sir. After Jin Woo left, Zara looked at her husband. They killed him to appease you. Yes. That's how this world works. He challenged me, lost, and his people cut their losses. He pulled her close. I know it's brutal. It's survival. I get it. And she did. So what now? Now we go home. Back to New York. Back to your work and our life. The threats are eliminated. Gregory's neutralized. Park's dead. We're safe. For now. For now, he agreed. But Chagia? I'm going to make sure we have 1,000 for nows. 1,000 moments of peace and happiness. Because you deserve that. We deserve that. Take me home, Daniel. Our real home. With pleasure, Mrs. Kong. Okay, I need everyone to tell me their thoughts in the comments because that was insane. Zara is officially a mafia wife, Daesung eliminated all his enemies, and they're going back to New York as the most powerful couple in 3 countries. But don't think this story is over, we still have so much to explore. What happens when they get back to New York? How does Ryan react? What about Zara's business? And most importantly, what happens when Zara finds out she's pregnant? That's right, part 4 is coming and it's going to be everything. If you love this story, please hit that like button. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. Subscribe and turn on notifications because part 4 is dropping soon and you do not want to miss it. Comment below, do you think Zara and Daesung will get their happy ending, or is there more danger coming? What do you want to see happen next? And should I write a bonus episode about their wedding vow renewal? Let me know. Thank you so much for all the love and support on this series. Your comments, likes, and shares mean everything. I'll see you in the next story.